Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. Well, it's Friday afternoon, and as normal, we have Pep's press conference. That's just concluded, I think, just under an hour ago, and so we're here to have a chat about what Pep's been saying. Obviously, there's going to be an update on Aymeric Laporte's injury situation, Leroy Sané. What's happening with him? What's his situation? You'll get an update there. Obviously, there's going to be some reflections from Pep as to what's happened over in Madrid on Wednesday evening. And it's quite interesting to see what Pep's got to say about that. I, for one, am keenly interested to see what Pep's got to say. Hi, Chris Welch. Hope you're well, buddy. And we'll go through any other tidbits of information, other bits and pieces of news, Manchester City news that might have come out today. Anything that's worth talking about, I think. I don't want to go through all bits and pieces because sadly, all the information you get in some of the newspapers is actually that is worth it, to be honest. Some of it's a bit rubbish. And I don't want to go on some of that, made up stuff that you tend to get, and rumours linking us with players that are just not got any semblance of truth. So let's have a look who's on board. We've got Zohaib. Hi, Zohaib, Jack Lee, Ziad Ikleria. Hi to you all. Mark the Blue, afternoon to you. And Ziad Laporte, you want to know about Aymeric Laporte? Well, don't we all? Don't we all? I will go through about everything from start to finish, guys. Chris Welch is in London. It's a shame I couldn't go down today. I'd have loved to have gone down today to watch the under-23s play for the playing away against Arsenal, and there was this very special reason to go and watch the under-3s play tonight, and I'll let you know about that, a little secret about why I was interested to see the under-23s play. Right, let's see what else is in the house. Then we'll get going. Well, we'll come up to that, Ziad. We'll get up to that. Ziad, Jack's, you're giving me your score predictions already. What I will say, guys, once this is finished, I did a very short interview yesterday with about 10 minutes or so with a guy called Jude Aston. And he's a Aston Villa YouTuber. So you can go and check that out on my channel. Please give it a thumbs up and watch it if you can. It's not too long. And if you like, you can go and give him a subscribe as well. That's Jude Aston from Jude's Journey. Right, let's get into this press conference. So Pep, straight away, let's talk about Aymeric Laporte. That's the update. As suspected, as I mentioned yesterday, it's a hamstring injury. And Pep said normally it's 3 weeks or a month. We try to avoid it, but it has happened. Sometimes it happens. Now, I'll come back to Laporte. I'll go through the press conference and I'll come back to a little bits of information afterwards. Getting to the cup final, he said City have stayed strong. He said it's so difficult to reach a final. So being there again, it is a great achievement. Hopefully for the fans, we can win it. The result, the last day is past, and we focus on the final. It is a different competition with a historic team. That's Aston Villa. I think it will be a fantastic game. More about Laporte said back. Pep said, I imagine it's tough and you have to work hard. Life is not easy, not always in the world. The people who survive are the ones who cope with the bad moments. It is what it is. Accept it. Work hard to come back as soon as possible. Obviously, sometimes when you have a long-term injury, it happens. It can happen. You can get an unrelated injury just because your body's not been what's the right word? Your body's not been put under any stress recently. You put it under stress and something else could give. It just happens. We've got to take it. Talking about the Real Madrid reaction, he said, of course it is better. It is much better to go and play a final after good results in Madrid, but we cannot live in a final thinking how good we were. Can't live in the past. Madrid is not done, first of all. I have thought it is incredibly difficult to win at big clubs, but it is more challenging to beat them twice. Big clubs can lose one game, but two? It does not come often, but it helps us. So football is about emotion, and it is better to play a final with a character. About coronavirus, is that a problem? He was asked about that. He said, it's a worldwide situation. I hope that authorities are serious about the message and tell us as citizens. I think that it is the most important thing. I think they are doing as much as possible worldwide to eradicate it, but try not to cause alarm in society. They have a duty to inform us on the situation, be calm and work and live a normal life. Okay. It was quite interesting. He was asked, he was pushed on this about being, and Pep said, first of all, I think you were wrong. You didn't learn. The line to win or lose is so tight. Forget about my changes. Many times they were a disaster. And on Wednesday it worked, but it doesn't count. Still, people don't learn that the manager who wins is a genius and the other is a disaster. It doesn't work in that way. Sometimes you don't win because the margin in that competition is so tight. If Ramos kicks the ball and they score the second goal, the City manager would have been a disaster and perfect for Zidane. Little details make the difference. There are 1,000 examples I could give about these games, these knockout stages in the last few years. I know exactly what happened in the game. The players know it, and we know it is not over and how difficult it will be. Real will have incredible personality. It is in 3 weeks, and before that we have the Carabao, Sheffield Wednesday, and the Premier League. A lot of times I make a substitution, and it doesn't work. I don't believe in these kind of things, about him being a game changer. How did the players react to being on the bench? You know, the question was asked about David Silva starting on the bench, never got on the pitch. Sergio Aguero on the bench, never got on the pitch. And Fernandinho, who started on the bench and came on for Aymeric Laporte after 30-odd minutes. And he said their behaviour in the locker room was exceptional. These three players specifically, I'm so proud of their reaction, knowing that they wanted to play. I understand completely. Sergio is incredible. I never could express my gratitude and my thank you to him to understand me a bit and help the team, being the legend that he is for this club. I need him. We need him. And I know he's ready. And David as well, and John and Alex and Dino was on the bench. I would love all the players to be like that. Excuse me, let's just keep going through this. Laporte and Sane absences. And Pep was asked, would City have done better in the Premier League without injury issues? Perhaps so. A manager needs the players to have alternatives, to be fresh. In one competition, you can handle it. That's about, you know, having 12 or 13 players. But you need 16 or 17 top players to be in all of the competitions. The managers depend on the quality of the players. No manager can do it without the talent of the players. Asked about motivation for silverware, because City is going strong in every competition. He said the night after Madrid, we were calm, and then Madrid was gone. And we were thinking about Aston Villa. And soon we were thinking about Sheffield Wednesday. You can lose games or competitions, but that is the only way you can be there every year. Here's the Sane news. Sane won't be playing on Sunday, I don't think. He's playing with the under-23 to Arsenal tonight, which is why I would have liked to be in London. And Pep said he's always part of the training, but the distances, the movements you feel in the game. There are many things I don't like about your country. Academy teams cannot play in a strong league, but at the same time, it's an incredible decision that players for the first team for recovery can play for the second team. It's an incredibly good decision. I don't want to put targets on him. We want him to see the game, speak with him, how he felt against Arsenal. It's good. That's that. That's the press conference. So let's go and chat briefly about a few things. Sane, you know, the people asking me, the question posed in the press conference, because I did listen to this bit live, the question posed was, after the under-23 game with Arsenal, will he be then ready to play? Will he be back with the squad ready to play? And Pep said, basically, going to see after the game, we're going to talk to him and basically see how he feels and everything else. And he's right, you know, look, Laporte and Sane would have made a difference to us this season. Would it have helped us to beat still with Liverpool? I don't think so. Liverpool are way ahead, miles ahead, guys, and it's just the way it is. And just thinking about Laporte, when will he be back? Well, if it's 3 or 4 weeks, we're talking at the end of the month. Now, I've been asked, will he be ready for Liverpool? That's, I think, touch and go. Would we risk him against Liverpool? Would you want him to play against Liverpool? When, if we beat Real Madrid, Champions League game would be 2 or 3 days after that. Yeah, the first leg of the quarterfinal, and the second leg is, I think, a week later. Would you risk him against Liverpool if he's just touch and go? Personally, I'd look at having him on the bench, maybe bring him on for 10 or 15 minutes. You want to know if the guy's, you know, fit enough. You don't know. Look, you know, he's played 3 games so far for us this season, and then broken down against Real Madrid for an unrelated injury, that hamstring. but the 3 games he's played 78 minutes, 60 minutes, and I can't remember the third one how long he played. So part of me feels I would like him to play 10 or 15 minutes at the end of the game against Liverpool, win, lose or draw, whatever the score is. I would like him to feature there because he's only got a few days before the Real Madrid game. So the next round of the Champions League, if we're lucky enough to make it. Pull up my if before that we would have the FA Cup game if we beat Sheffield Wednesday the weekend before. So who knows when we're going to have the Arsenal game? I mean, obviously Arsenal have been knocked out of the Europa League. Actually, they might try and squeeze that in again. Could they squeeze it in before the Burnley game? Because now that Arsenal are out, they've got no game that week. So we're talking about the 11th to 12th of April. Or could they try and squeeze it in the week running up to the FA Cup 6th round, if we're in that? If we're not in that, could this pop it in that weekend? I don't know. Could they put the game, the Arsenal game before the Liverpool game? There's lots of possibilities there. Let's go back to what you guys have been saying. Let's have a chat. Okay. Zoe asking if I'm going to the game. Absolutely, mate. I'm going down to London tomorrow. I've got a radio interview. I'm just trying to work out whether I do that before I leave or after. I might do the interview on the way down to London. I'm just trying to juggle my timetable and spend some time with my kids in the morning, take them to judo hopefully in the morning, and then after that head off down to London. Got a very, very busy weekend. I've got a radio interview tomorrow morning and one in the afternoon as well. I did another one this morning, and that's going out on Sunday. So Hits Radio Manchester or Hits Radio News, that's going to be on Sunday morning, and I'm doing some interviews tomorrow as well for radio. So very, very busy day. Chris Welch reckons Aston Villa 0 City 2. Ziad's asking about would take Grealish. I'd be tempted. I've not seen enough of him this season, but I think he's got better as the season's gone on. He's only 24 years old. Could he be Yaya Toure, box to box? The thing I like about Grealish, I think he could be a box to box player. I think we can play him as an attacking midfielder. I think we could even play him as a wide midfielder as well. So there's lots of opportunities with Jack Grealish. He scored a lot of goals for Villa. Was it 8 goals this season, something like that, which is pretty decent for a fella in a struggling team. Yeah, the last 5 minutes out of Old Dodger, that was Saul. I liked it giving the press a bit, saying you don't understand, you've not learned. Abdul Hakim Laporte is out 3 or 4 weeks. Pep says he's got a hamstring injury, and if you give him the full 4 weeks, that gets us to the end of March. That gets us. So if you give him the full 4 weeks, that gets us to the end of the March. And let's go through the games again. We've got a game against Chelsea on the 21st. I don't think he'll be ready for that. The next game we've got, the next scheduled game, is the Liverpool game. Now, as I see it, we could have if we beat Sheffield Wednesday, we'll have the FA Cup the weekend of the 28th and 29th of March, I think, and we could try and squeeze the Arsenal game in either before the FA Cup quarterfinals or before the Liverpool game. Now, if we do that, it's a possibility because 3 to 4 weeks. So we're on the 28th of February now. He was injured on the 26th. So let's say about the 27th of March, he should be ready to play. So if we are in the FA Cup, he could play in the FA Cup. If we're still in there, he could play that. If we do have the Arsenal game either a few days before the FA Cup or the few days after the FA Cup 6th round, he could play in that as well. So I think, but I'm not worried about the Liverpool game. The Liverpool game, to me, someone asked me that earlier on today. Would he be fit for that? I'm not worried in the Liverpool game as, we need to go and win that or anything else. I'm looking at all games. If we get through against Real Madrid in the second leg, then I'm looking at the two main important games for me. Liverpool is important, don't get me wrong, but the two really important games will be the FA Cup 6th round if we beat Wednesday, and the Champions League, the next round of that, the quarterfinals, if we get through Madrid. That to me is what we should be focusing on. That's my opinion. what's really, really important to us. Let's go through your comments again. Laporte needs some hot weather. Well, he's going to have at least 3 weeks off for Artful, so maybe, look, he'll come back at end of March and hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer then. Lee says Laporte is out for 1 month after his hamstring injury. Yeah, I think Pep said 3 to 4 weeks. So I think he's. For me, I'd give him the full 4 weeks. I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't even think about coming back for Real Madrid because. So for me, I'm looking at that FA Cup 6-round weekend if we're still in it. If we have the Arsenal game squeezed in, play a few minutes in those games, and then maybe a few minutes against Liverpool. Let's have a look. Blue Moon, you saw me standing alone. There you go, Zahib. You know the words. My mate Storm in Switzerland has banned all going to happen here if things get worse. Not sure if games would go ahead behind closed doors. I don't think so, my mate Stormy. I don't think they'd do that. But you never know. It obviously affects the competition a bit. I don't know when it's, it all depends on how, if things get worse. And it is looking like that. Things are getting, let's not go too much in the coronavirus, but things are progressing with that. The spread, it is spreading throughout Europe. Who knows what's going to happen, honestly. So Heb Khan, do I have this year's City shirt? I've got 2. I didn't buy any of the 3 shirts this season. What I did buy, of the main shirts, I bought 2 goalkeeper shirts. So I've got a green one and a pink one. I quite like the goalkeeper shirts. And I also got the 125th anniversary shirt and a tracksuit top as well. So I bought a fair bit of stuff this season. I didn't buy any of the old shirts. I've got most of them. I bought them years back. The replica shirts, but Mrs. Colin, I bought the replica shirts a while ago. Let me just get rid of this call. I can't get rid of it. Disgraceful comments by McManaman during the Madrid game, and no surprise. Look, my mates told me it'll make no difference. All you can do is get it off your chest. It won't make any difference to the way BT. Look, they've got to pander to the Man United and Liverpool fans of this world. They've got to do that, and obviously, look, you can argue McManaman played for both teams, so he's, you could say he's a good person to have, but his bias was far too much. Cameron can't wait to go to Chef Wednesday Hillsborough. That'll be 3 out of 92 grinds. I've been to Madrid on the 17th. Can't wait up. It's an amazing night. Yeah, I've got my tickets for the Madrid. I'm not going to go to Chef Wednesday. Tickets went down quite very low on that. I mean, I could have even taken my kids, but I mentioned time and time again, midweek games, it's very, very difficult to go with kids. Sheffield Wednesday, not getting home till 1 o'clock in the morning. You give yourself an hour, 2 hours after the game finishes, you reckon, is when you're going to be getting home at the earliest. If that game's finishing at 10-ish, quarter to 10, you're not getting home till midnight, 12:15 or something. Kids have got to be up at 8. It ain't going to happen. It can only happen if it's in school holidays. And so it's not going to happen. But we're all going to go to Real Madrid, even though it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. At least we'll be home by 11:30. It's not too bad. I can allow it once. I think we've done it a couple of times this season, but you can't do it too often. A City is still allowed to buy. Absolutely, but there's nothing stopping us buying players. There's no transfer embargoes. Nothing is affecting us at all. So you guys don't worry about it. City are still allowed to buy players. Let's just have a quick look. As I said, if you get a chance, go and watch the video I did earlier on with Jude from Jude's Journey. I'll get it right. Jude's Journey. So Aston Villa fan. I had a chat with him about the Carabao Cup final on Sunday. And as I said, if you guys get I'm just checking how long it is. It's about 10 minutes or so. If you guys get the chance, please go and check it out. And it's 13 minutes. It's not too long. Not too long at all. Right. Just going to get to the last few comments, and then I'm going to get on with my day. I've got to go and pick my kids up from school. Daily Mail, my mate's Tommy Daily Mail reporting a major investigation. No, it's they're talking out their backsides. The problem with the newspapers is, my mate Stormy, far too much stuff is made up. Far too much stuff is made up in the papers because no one can disprove it, and because they're journalists, they can get away with saying stuff like that, which is wrong. You know, far too much stuff. And if things are being leaked, then that's wrong as well. Now, you got to remember that the Premier League's FFP started, I think, a couple of years after the UEFA FFP. Okay, and there's a massive difference in the levels of now of 30 million euros over a 3-year period. Now that's something like about 25 million quid. You're allowed to lose about 25 million quid over 3 years. The Premier League's FFP, you're allowed to lose 105 million pounds over 3 years. That's 35 million a year. Now that's a huge difference. Yeah, it's a huge difference between what UEFA are doing at 10 million, 8 million quid a season ish, and the Premier League, which is 35 million quid a season. Massive, massive, massive difference. So I'm not worried about this. Look, they've got to sell newspapers. They've got to get clicks and hits, and stuff like that. And you've got a line, and they've got an agenda, and it is to get City fans riled, City fans curious what's going to happen, and Liverpool fans, United fans, and other fan bases who don't like City fans to be interested in that story. That's all. Everyone hates City. Not everyone's a hate. People used to love City. If you go back 15 years, City were a bit of a joke club, and whilst we weren't that successful, people liked us. Now we're successful. That's a bit of a problem. Artful Dodger, no one hates City. Everyone wants to be City. Absolutely. I think people do hate City, Artful Dodger, but they would love to be City at the same time. So they do hate us. But as I said, 15 years ago, people loved us. Do I live in Manchester? Says Zohaib. I live just outside Manchester. I live about 25 minutes from the Etihad Stadium. Big chat. Maybe City should influence the government to investigate the FA in the Premier League. If that happened, the amount of scandals that would or could come out would be very interesting. Look, we all know dodgy stuff goes on. And, come at me, FA, if you want. They ain't going to bother. A lot of Premier League, lots of things go on that just don't look right. Scudamore getting a £5 million payoff. That doesn't look right. Why on earth would they do that? So, lots of stuff goes on that you just think, it doesn't look right. With the VAR, the fact that the Premier League stroke FA are allowing the way the PGMOL have got us over a barrel over VAR, it's pathetic. Something's going wrong. It's not right. Yeah, some of these referees are so bad. You just can't believe they're simply incompetent. It cannot be. If you're that incompetent, you shouldn't be a refereeing some of these decisions that are made. It is pathetic. Excuse me. My mates told me, night to worry about there. Trust me, night to worry about. If I get it wrong, come back and tell me, but night to worry about. Apple. Who's telling you that? Premier League haven't said anything. So if nothing's said by the Premier League, I'm not worried about it. Premier League have to wait really till UEFA's finished with CAS to see if it's got any wriggle room. If UEFA get knocked back by CAS, the Premier League are going to be very careful how they tread. If City take UEFA to the Swiss courts, the Premier League are really going to wait to see what happens there, because they don't want to be embroiled in they don't want to be embroiled in negativity. That's the first thing. Negativity. What's the right word? And mud, is not what sells the Premier League. Yeah. Look at the hacking scandal. The Premier League didn't want to get involved, because if they did, they'd have had to open a case. Lots of information would have come out. That's negative for the Premier League. And they just want positivity. They just want positive stories so that they can make the most money possible in TV deals. Once you start getting negative, that has a black mark against the league, and they don't want that at all. I think the Premier League, I don't agree, Artful Dodger, that they won't touch City, but I think they're very, very wary about what they're going to do. Now, I'm sure there's lots of scandals. Look at the FA, all those scandals with Sven, with I'm just trying to remember all the names. Matt Palios? A few people with that. I'm trying to remember the woman's name. That every man and his dog was involved with had secret liaisons with her. was it Azam? I'll remember her name. They all, was it 3 people at the FA, including the manager, had an affair with this woman? Was it? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. He had that. I'm just trying to remember the Faria Alam. That was her name. Okay, so many people at FA there. So many problems. Even in the PFA with the Players Football Association, a lot of problems. Wherever I'm not talking about Ulrika Mark. It was when Sven was. And then other people at the FA were having relationships with Faria Alam. I mean, it's just absolutely, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what was going on. And I'm just trying to remember some of the names. She had an affair with Mark Palios, who was then the chief executive of the FA. When that finished, she had an affair with the England manager, Sven-Göran Eriksson. Eriksson at the time was in a relationship with Nancy Delolio. So much was going on. And I think there was a third man. I'm just trying to, this was at a tribunal. I think she got the boot from the FA. I think there was a tribunal there. And I'm just trying to go, I'm just looking up some of the stuff. So the tribunal where there were apparently 3 names mentioned, obviously, Mark Palios, obviously Sven, and I just can't for the life of me remember the name of the third person that was involved. But there was a lot going on, guys. So the FA, the FA are pretty seedy themselves, very, very seedy. So you've got the FA seedy, Premier League. Now, as I talked about Scudamore getting that money, that payoff. There's the talk that Liverpool and Man United have some say in the new chief executive of the Premier League. Absolutely scandalous. It really is. We're the purest league overall. I'm not sure about that, old Dodger. Have we sold all our tickets? Colin, I don't know. I read somewhere that the only tickets that are left are the extremely expensive tickets. Was it 150 quid a pop? And quite frankly, we shouldn't be selling them because they're absolutely, it's ridiculous how expensive they are. Hi, Salim. I hope you're well. Guys, I'm going to knock it on the head because it's just 3:10. Got a couple of things I need to do before I go and pick my kids up from school. Busy. And hopefully catch me tomorrow on the radio. I'm not sure if it's going out live at 10:30 tomorrow, but I'm doing an interview at 10:30. I'm doing another interview at 1:30. So it's going to be mind-blowing. I'm trying to, this is me trying to keep a low profile. I've got so many things going on at the moment. And all the radios just want a piece of me. They all want a piece of me. Guys, take it easy. I'm not sure we'll be coming on later on today. I think this is the stream for today. I've got a lot of other things on. And I've got to get ready. Actually, I've got to go to my mum's house to look after my mum tonight and spend some time with her. And then get ready for the trip down to London tomorrow. So, guys, you take care. I'll catch you tomorrow at some point. I'll probably do a live stream in the evening as we head into the Villa game. Guys, take it easy. See you around Blues.